Imagine there was a technique you could use to get all of your boring day-to-day tasks out of the way, like just pressing a button or flicking a switch. Wouldn't that be nice? Unfortunately, there isn't, but we've put together something almost as good, a collection of life hacks, which will undoubtedly make your life a little bit smoother. We can't promise that it'll change the world, but it will definitely help you along the way. Whether you're struggling to remember which books you've lent out to a friend, confused as how to iron your shirt, or you want to improve your life in general, we've got the answers for you. Before we start our list, we've got one life hack that'll help you in countless ways. Click the subscribe button. It won't cost you a penny, but you'll certainly reap the benefits. Wasn't that easy? Look at you, improving already. Toothpaste isn't just good for your smile. It's easy to panic when you drop your phone and the screen cracks, but what if we told you there's an easy quick fix? Instead of spending your hard-earned dollars getting it replaced, use toothpaste to fill in the cracks. First, put the phone on a flat surface. Blow on the screen to remove any debris and make sure it's entirely clean. Next, squeeze a small amount of toothpaste onto a cotton swab and gently rub it on top of the cracks. It might take a few attempts, but the toothpaste will hide the cracks. Once you're done, run your finger over the screen to get rid of any excess toothpaste. Make sure you don't use toothpaste with any flavoring, as these types usually have small particles in them which will damage your phone. And there you go, a good as new phone screen. Cool your drinks in 15 minutes. There's nothing worse than forgetting to put your drinks in the fridge on a hot day. Wait a good hour for them to cool down? Nope, we have a way better solution that promises to give you an ice-cold glass in no time at all. Wet a paper towel or two and wrap them around the bottle. Make sure they're entirely covered and that they're wet, but not dripping. Cover each of your drinks individually and place them in the fridge as usual. The damp towel will quickly evaporate in the dry refrigerator and cool your drinks down at the same time. If you're desperate, they'll be good to go within 10 minutes, but for a perfect temperature, you're best off holding an extra 5 minutes. So, drink up. Stop mixing up your keys. Ever tried to find one key on a crowded key ring when you're in a rush? Of course you have. The worst thing about keys, they all look the same. This is good for security, but bad for, well, just about everything else. So what's the solution? Color code your keys. Individual key fobs can be expensive and will weigh down your bag. Instead, use nail polish to paint each individual key a different color. You'll have a brand new color-coordinated key fob, and a far better idea of which key is used to open the garage next time you're hunting around. When you're painting, stick to only the head of the key, as the rest will flake off with time. The best part? It's easily removable, meaning that if you're moving house and have to pass the keys along, you can use nail varnish remover to get it back to normal instantly. Step up your sandwich game. Here's a great hack to make all your colleagues jealous and make a great sandwich at the same time. We all crave the perfect toasted sandwich, but finding that flawless level between bread and toast is one of life's great mysteries. The best way to achieve it is to only use half of the toaster. Instead of putting each piece of bread in different compartments on the toaster, put both pieces in one. It'll make the outsides crispy and the inside will stay soft, just what you want for a stepped-up lunch game. Instead of having to decide whether you want a toasted sandwich or a cold one, we found the perfect middle point. And what's even better, using only one side of the toaster means you can make 2 sandwiches at once. Now that's the kind of news that gets us through the week. Get snap-happy with your belongings. Picture this scene. You lent one of your favorite books to a friend, but you can't remember who. Another has had one of your best tops for months. If you're generous with your things, but poorly equipped with your memory, try taking a photo of your friend with your stuff before they borrow it. It doesn't have to be a full-length photo shoot, but it means you'll be able to flick back through your photos a few months down the line when you realize you're missing half your books. Save the photo somewhere you'll remember it, and then even if your friend denies having your stuff, you'll have the proof. Obviously, the best way to stop losing things is not to lend it out in the first place, but we're all nice people around here, so this is the second best option. Photography has never been so productive. Use hair straighteners on your clothes. 5 minutes extra in bed makes all the difference. Having to iron a shirt in the morning can easily steal away those 5 minutes, so we have found a solution. Your straighteners. The things you use to tame your hair, they can also be used to tame your clothes. They're perfect on collars and don't require you to set up an ironing board or find a perfectly flat surface either. If your straighteners have heat adjustment settings, you can use them for all types of fabrics and even silk if they go low enough. One thing to consider is that it's better to do your clothes before your hair, so you don't end up with product all over your clean shirt. If you need to clean your straighteners, do so when they're cold and use a moist cloth to ensure they don't ruin your clothes or your hair. Carry all your bags without becoming the Incredible Hulk. Living on the 5th floor seemed like such a great idea at first, and then you experienced your first grocery shopping trip. And then it all went downhill from there. It's probably getting to the point where you're just eating takeout more often than not, just to avoid the pain on your hands each time. Luckily, running up and down the stairs to pick up all your bags is now a thing of the past. Even if you're not one for mountaineering, you should buy a carabiner. You've probably recognized the small metal clip from your school days. but I bet you never considered using it for the weekly shopping trip. The hardest part of carrying a big load is the pain inflicted on your fingers, and the phone handle gets rid of this entirely. Instead of struggling with multiple heavy bags, strap them all onto the carabiner and enjoy your walk upstairs with only half of the effort you've gotten used to. Cardboard could get you promoted. It's difficult to stop important documents from getting crumpled when you've got a full bag. You can try to keep them smooth, but more often than not, you'll arrive at your location with the edges curled up at the very least. Instead, take a piece of cardboard ever so slightly bigger than your document, place it in a Ziploc bag, and put the papers inside next to it. The cardboard will stop your documents from folding, and you'll be able to turn up at your meetings with pristine, clean sheets. Turning up looking prepared can make all the difference. And it's such an easy way to look organized at these crucial moments. Storing the Ziploc cardboard side up will also protect your documents from rain or sun damage. Stop being a crybaby. Vegetables are delicious, but crying over cutting vegetables? Not so much. You've probably avoided using onions if you've ever cooked for a date before, for fear of those tears getting the better of you. Next time you want to try to add some flavors to your meal without the dreaded watery eyes, try chewing gum at the same time as chopping. When you cut onions, the odors released travel into the air through your eyes and nose, and they make you cry. The mint from the gum will diffuse the odors released from the onions. It also forces you to breathe through your mouth, which means there's less of a chance of the chemicals making their way up your nose and irritating your glands. If that doesn't give you enough reasons to start eating onions with every meal, nothing will. Fix furniture with snack food. Natural wood furniture looks so classy and stylish, but it's expensive to replace. So imagine the feeling when you notice your brand new table is scratched. What will you do without paying hundreds for repair? Cheaper than those posh furniture repair sprays, and also easier to find, use walnuts to cover the scratches. Take a large chunk of walnut and rub it diagonally into the dent. If you don't have walnuts on hand, you can also use pecans, almonds, or Brazil nuts, but walnuts are the softest and the most effective. Once you've done this, smooth over the area with your hand to warm the surface. The natural oils from the nuts will sink into the wood and act as good coverage. Finally, wait a few minutes and brush over the area with a soft cloth for good as new furniture. I bet you never thought it would be so easy to make improvements in your life with so little effort. Who'd have thought in less than 10 minutes you would have learned so many useful hacks? We hope you enjoyed this video, and make sure to subscribe to The Hub for more helpful hacks. Thanks for watching.